Well, it's been a while. I think we're here in year 4. So we'll just keep going. It's been a while for me, so let's just do it.
Hey, where is everybody?
Waiting area 2.
How long do they have to wait in there?
Until they have tickets. They were issued tickets on the number 9, and they don't have them now. The punishment for selling double-end tickets is very severe.
They didn't sell their tickets. Their tickets were stolen.
By who?
Hector Le Mans stole them to sell to rich people who don't deserve them.
That might be them now. Let's see just what they deserve.
Nick. So, if one of them's bad, do all of them go? That seems awfully harsh. Alright.
The guy who played the who played these Peruvian flutes, I believe, is from Peru. To look at the credits again. He lives in the mission. It's like the whole Grim score lives in the mission.
Been to Peru. Peru's a really interesting country.
Hey, how'd you get free?
I was born free, Boatnik. Nobody gave me no ticket, so nobody can take it away.
So what are you pacing around here for?
Trying to unwind a little bit. All those years circling in one direction. Gotta even out my life in this world before I go on to the next, you know. Well, that ought to do her.
Goodbye, Chapito.
Happy trails, Captain. And thanks for setting me straight back there in the drink. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under some seaweed. No, I'm gonna let it shine.
Yeah. Oh.
Now that's the ashtray that is the very first shot of the game and the very last shot of the game are the same, just like in Sugarland Express. So the shot of the little figurines around that ashtray is the same as the band that stands around this fountain later. Right. That's how you prove that you took at least one film school class in college. You make the first shot the same as the last shot. Basic stuff.
Whoops. Let me see if I can change this. Yeah, I left the name of my stream year 3.
Recently,
so.
I was visited by a bird with a human head. Do you know such a bird, Manuel Calavera?
No. How do you know my...
He knew you, and for you, he left this note.
Good catch.
I know what you're up to. I've been watching. Stay there. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly, Hector Le Mans. Híjole.
Alex, you had mentioned on our break that you were the master of playing through this game the most quickly.
That's right.
I think you should talk about that, because when I played this game, I think it took me a couple of days.
Yeah, a few days.
Yeah, I'm interested in playing the remastered version to see how long it takes me. I think it'll be, 12 hours or more, but when we were in test, obviously we're playing it, every single day, so we know it inside and out, but when a brand new build came down, we always had to play through it from beginning to end, and I was the person that always ended up doing that because I could do it the fastest, and I got down to just a little over an hour.
Wow.
Playthrough time. I want to say like an hour and 10 minutes was my fastest time. Yeah, it was It was something else. I mean, I knew the whole game, like, instinctually, and now I barely remember any of it.
You must have been able to skip through cutscenes or something.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah,
and you can skip dialogue too.
I think the cutscene tape that we received, so we could watch them. I want to say it was almost 2 hours long.
Oh,
It was
cool.
It was like an hour and 45 minutes or
Yeah.
something.
That's
yeah.
really
Good
cool.
lord.
I'd like to watch that. I mean, I guess we're watching it right now.
Let's go down.
Oh, Gladys would love these.
6-wheelers.
It's funny because Pete was always great at knowing. Not only would he know it was gonna slip, he would always say no, and then he'd spew out a date, and he was always within weeks. You know, he always and sometimes that date was way past where we were being told the date was. In fact, it always was. But he was always right, and I don't know if it was just a sixth sense or if it was.
Well, I
Him
remember
putting it
I
together.
remember specifically what you're talking about. And I'm not going to be completely correct, but early in the year, I predicted that it would be June,
Yeah.
which was about 2 months past our deadline, and I felt very bold doing that.
Totally.
But I felt pretty on solid ground doing that. Of course, this was internal, just within the SAO group.
Yeah, we never
wouldn't
would say
share
that to
this
you.
with other people. And Pete immediately fired back, Day of the Dead. We all said, what? Day of the Dead. What is that, November 4th?
Yeah, like 4th or
Yeah.
5th.
Yeah.
November 5th.
And
Oh, I'm curious
so, you know what? He was within, we'd have to look at Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Do you remember the release date? I don't
Oh,
remember.
it was October 20.
He
Oh,
was-
man.
he
it
was,
Close enough.
He was
It was
within
October.
a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
He was within a couple of weeks, and that was about March that he did that.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's quite amazing
Yeah.
that he was able to see that distance. I don't know how he did it, but he said it with conviction too. That's the funniest thing of all, and he ended up being right.
It's full of caskets. Looks like standard DOD issue. Bruno Martinez?
You were the guy who packed me in there. You could have at least given me a magazine. 4 years with nothing to read but this damn mug. What are you doing here? And if you were headed this way, why didn't you offer me a lift? Ah! Wait, I'm getting out of here. This world's for suckers.
There's some packing foam in here with a Bruno-shaped dent in it.
Bruno shaped. How do you get a dent like that? Can I walk here?
That's the road we came in on. Nothing out there but snow and a perfectly good pair of sunglasses.
Can I go over here? Cutscene.
Gran demonio roidor. Oh, gran demonio roidor.
Gladys,
Hear the name of the great one. Glottis.
what's happening?
How many days has this grand demon gone without driving?
Well, we've been hiking for months.
Months? Oh, then the noble one will surely die.
But
You know, Leslie, I remember how you worked to keep everyone together and to help the team snuff out bugs and get this thing finished up. And I have to confess something after all these years, that that as we would observe bugs in the game, that translated merely to us as, okay, fellas, we have more time. Let's get back to work.
Yeah.
Let's make this stuff even better. And so we'd see someone's head float off their body and just exit the screen while their body continued to remain on screen. We'd say, that's at least another month.
So that's how you got more time.
We knew what the schedule was by just simply playing the game.
Gladys, I'm sorry. Why didn't you tell me you were sick?
Couldn't stop. Have to save everyone.
Are you in much pain, my friend?
Only because I let you down, Manny.
Aw, Gladys.
What can I get you? Will anything help?
I need to Race to fly like the old days, Manny. In the bone wagon.
But the bone wagon's not here, carnal.
Maybe I'll see her on the other side.
Can't we make a new hot rod?
Those days are done, Manny. No more hot rod. Hey, what's that red thing?
The gondola?
Sweet decal work. Listen, fellas, somebody get a pen. There it is, my final work. It could save me if you have the right,
Fuel.
What fuel, Glottis? Glottis!
You can hear your brother's charango in this too. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, it was a second ago. I think I heard it. It's somewhere in the Lion train station music.
If I remember correctly.
That's no place to put a mug.
What do you mean? Mug hanger.
I hate it when people leave their crusty mugs out in the break room.
There was somebody that who remained nameless, but I remember they said, because they'd come out of advertising, and they said, well, there's 3 types of animation. There are dogs and cats who chase each other. There are dogs and cats that talk to each other, and then there are logos that spin around. Those are the 3 types of animation. So I guess we need to put
that
chains.
made one potentially amazing animator quit.
Yes.
That ended up being
Pixar.
a soup at Pixar. So
Yes.
you can do your own homework to find out who that was.
Your mother doesn't work here. Since nobody listened to my last warning about keeping this refrigerator clean, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to lock it until some of you grow up. Signed, the Facilities Department.
Oh man, I forget.
How eerie. They lock up their tools just like Glottis. How eerie. They have the same tool cabinets as Glottis. Well, it's good to know they recycle oil out here at the end of the world.
It's not a renewable resource. You gotta recycle oil. Oops. I think I meant to stay in there.
Hey, how about a gondola ride, Gremlins?
He's too big. The gondola is too slow.
He's not too big.
It looks like blueprints. They're brilliant. I wonder if she blames Meche. We have to get back to Amaro for the tickets.
Oh, Glottis.
It looks like they're brilliant. What's wrong with him?
Do you not know the one purpose, the one skill, the one desire of this humble spirit?
Yes, but we've been so far away from cars and civilization for so long.
Why did he ever leave his home?
I got him fired, and then I needed a ride. Oh, Glottis, what have I done to you? Can you cure him?
His spirit has fallen so low, normal driving would not cure him in time. He needs to go faster. Faster!
Do you have any vehicles here that we could use to revive him?
Only the trucks that deliver the souls, but they are slow. So slow.
Who are you guys?
We are mechanics, same as he. But we have never before seen one of our kind so large.
I've got to go see what I can do.
Come back quickly, for his time here is not long.
Okay, I need to...
What happened to that train?
Your destiny cannot be purchased.
I don't understand. Why has everyone been detained?
Given a ticket, a soul may not sell it.
They didn't sell their tickets. Someone else is trying to.
Bring the tickets, that is all.
The tickets are in Amaro. How can I get there quickly?
These rails are already there.
My friend is sick. Can you help us?
1,000 demons have died upon delivering the souls they were created to protect.
Well, thanks for the help.
The gate opens. The gate closes. It does not help.
I know I need one thing. I just don't know where to get it. Oh.
And it's also spiritual in the way that it feels. That's how you feel like you feel like this is the end of the game, because when you get to the part in the story where like people are in the clouds or in the heavens, and you start to hear the pan flute music, you know you're kind of near the end of the story somehow.
Right.
But then you go back and there's a whole nother year, which creates a feeling of the game being super long. Like I'm playing Mario right now, and there's more and more levels. After the end of the story, there's more and more, which makes it feels really long. But if it ends at level 5 and then there's 2 more levels. But if you had 7 levels, people wouldn't appreciate it. But if you ended at 5 and then you have there's more levels, it feels really long.
It's like it's the encore effect.
One of the core things about adventure games we think about a lot was what is keeping the player going forward, and what is the reward? Because in an RPG game, you kill somebody, you get loot, you get items and stuff like that, and or you get rank. So what is the reward for playing an adventure game and its environments?
Yes,
really, it's
discovering the new place.
It's unlocking the new environment.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes a cutscene and stuff, but really, it's environments and finding a new place.
I think meet new people
These must
too.
go all the way back to Elmaro.
Okay, time to go exploring. Okay, can't go there, right?
Hello? Whew, they're empty. Hello? Whew, they're empty. Hello? Whew, they're empty.
Okay. Maybe they're back there. The true adventure gaming happening right now. I'll admit, I play the least of the year 4, so that's, well, sometimes I play it and I don't finish it.
My joints don't need any oiling right now. There's a note next to this toaster. To avoid further mishaps, please butter your English muffins after you toast them. Facilities. There's a note.
Can you use it?
Your mother doesn't. I'm sign. It's full of rags.
There we go. Pick one up. No!
That's no place to put a mug.
It was until you took it off.
I hate it when people leave their crusty mugs out in the break room.
Yeah,
It was a good idea to have a clean rag around.
That is true.
This better not stain my pocket.
Well, don't put it in your pocket. I'm gonna go directly to the toaster. No! You put it... No! What? Now it'll stain your pocket. Why would you do it that way?
What was in that mug? Something that powerful could fuel a rocket. If only we had more.
Well, I could score you a couple of truckloads if you're interested.
We shoot you now like an arrow into the wind. May you pierce the heart of the wind itself.
That's an
and
engine,
drink
not a
the
rocket.
blood of flight. Speed is the food of the great glottis. Speed bring you life. Come back to us someday.
The gatekeeper has no problem with this, I guess.
You sure this thing's going to hold together?
At least most of the way. Hey, look! We're already to Rubacava. Manny? Manny? Manny, where are you? Manny, I'm frightened!
Good thing they're not made out of, you know, meat, like we are.
Ah, Rubacava! What a town! Remember the glory days, Manny?
Long gone, my friend. There's nothing here for us now.
Except maybe our old car.
Dios mío!
She's been...
Booby-trapped.
By who? Who?
This is awesome. Maybe not the most,
Yeah, this is Alan
Smartest,
Blumenfeld, who really brought a lot of heart to Glottis.
Yeah, totally.
He's just a real sweetheart.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not setting foot down there. The slightest bump could start those dominoes tumbling.
let's see here. Oh wait, can I extend this bridge? I guess not.
Maintenance has gotten pretty lax around here, apparently.
Someone told me like this was the moment they cried in the game, just hearing how scared Glottis was in the scene, because he gets really frightened. And it's actually a reference to a claim that a babysitter made about me when they were babysitting me. They said, "Oh, gee, you were so scared when your parents." You would sit there and you'd say, "Mother, mother, I'm frightened." And I was like, "No, okay. First of all, I never said that. I never said mother."
Yeah, that's suspicious right there.
But it got to be this family joke. "Mother, I'm frightened, mother." And so that line actually got in the game.
Don't panic. Don't panic. Poor guy. So nervous. I think he's gonna be sick. Don't panic.
Can I talk to Meche?
Looks like Domino left his calling card.
But how? I saw him torn to shreds.
He must have done this on his last trip through town. You really should get back in case it blows.
I'm with you guys till the end. You know that.
You really should.
Okay, let's do this.
Well, I think it's one of the real challenges for adventure games because so many things you make for an adventure game are single use. Like single use animation, single use scenes, single use textures. They're all like you do a first person shooter, you do, you know, adventure game, or sorry, like a platform or something like that. There's so many animations that get reused so many times throughout the whole game. And an adventure game, a huge amount of it is just custom throwaway, meant to be seen, you know, once or twice, and occasionally, you know, all the time, like walk cycles. But you know, it's not like Mario. You know, at the time they were doing Mario 64, and it's like Mario has, you know, a ridiculous number of animations, but it's a finite set, and it's like they can all be loaded at all times.
Yeah.
In this game, you have to dynamically load all the animations as they're needed, and you have to make sure they're available before they're triggered, so you don't get these glitches, and while you wait for them. And a lot of them are just, they're thrown away. They have to get, every single one has to be individually processed by a human to get them into the game and potentially rigged up. And that's one of the challenges of making adventure games, is that you have all these sort of custom things and you want to reuse them as much as possible, but in order to do that you have to automate a lot of stuff, automate as much processing as you can, but you still have to have that ability to fix things, you know, In film, we'll fix it in post. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, we'll fix it in the engine, or we'll fix it in the tool, as opposed to we'll fix it in the source art.
And that's the you know, like you can walk to any room you want, and like all the little one-off assets. I think that's a unique challenge technically to adventure games that a lot of other games, other genres don't really have to address. But we're constantly like loading in custom stuff and kicking custom stuff out, and on this game, you know, memory is tight. You walk into this room and we need 16-bit flipbooks of doors opening and closing and one-off animations of you may go and play the piano, you may not go and play the piano, and there's all this technical kind of tomfoolery going on of trying to get the content that may be that somebody
might be used,
might not be used. You might just be running through this room to some other room,
place, yeah.
and it's not like loading up a level in a first-person shooter where you're like, okay, I know what's going to be in front of the user at any one point in time, and we're going to use the same bad guy 50 times over. So I just need to get the stuff to run the bad guy in memory. This was this constant dance of like just-in-time loading and management of stuff, because you could walk into this room and spend 10 minutes in this room and explore every bit of content that this room could offer you, or you could just be running through on your way to somewhere else.
Back to this other puzzle.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I run into some animation stuff in our game, actually.
Manuel Calavera?
Velasco!
Well, what happened to the Limbo? Hate to tell you, Velasco, but she went down at the Pearl. But we found a new ship, the SS La Mancha, and managed to... The La Mancha? My old rusty bucket. Where is she? Oh, well, we traded her in Puerto Zapato for a team of sled dogs. That does it. I'm out of this stinking mob town. But thanks for finding my baby, Manny. Puerto Zapato, here I come. Mob town?
Tim, how come you know so much about neurosis and psychosis? It's really
I don't know if this is
quite
all.
striking.
I don't know if any of this is legitimate psychological knowledge or just what I learned from movies.
Well, speaking as sort of a crazy guy myself, it rings true to me.
It shone pale as bone as I stood there alone, and I thought to myself how the moon that night cast its light on my heart's true delight, and the reef where her body was strewn. Ah, not quite the same without old Velasco.
Yep. Okay, what do I need here?
I think I offended Tim once when I said, Tim, you should write scripts for movies. This is such a great idea. And Tim said, I make video games. I want to make video games. Why are you telling me to do something different? And I felt bad.
You cried that time?
No, I only cry at night, late at night. But I mean,
Tim was often at the office at nighttime. I remember him.
Oh yes,
locking his office door and me trying to peek in between the curtains he laid over top of the glass, and he would be in there for days.
Wow. Yes.
When he finally got down to doing the dialogue stuff, I remember that it was always like a pressure valve that blew on him at one time or another, and he would just lock himself in and churn out this amazing dialogue.
No, I mean, I think Tim was a very intimidating person. To try and be funny around Tim was hard because he was so funny, and I never felt like I kind of rose to.
I relied on my funny Canadianness,
right,
and my looks. That was enough.
I think it was, yes, your biting wit.
I think I bested him one time with a facial expression that was not intentional.
What was the expression? Can you do it for the people on the commentary?
You'll see it in the game if you look hard enough.
Good Lord.
Amazing.
This place is still around.
But it was great. I mean, Grimm is definitely still sort of the most satisfying project I think I've ever worked on. It was just a lot of fun, and you know, Cuban actors, American actors, Irish actors, a guy from Hungary.
you know, just all over the place, just to bring that sort of diversity to it.
Well, Hector Lamans tried and missed. Now it's my turn. I'm headed to El Maro to put him out of business.
Manny, that place has changed. You don't know what you're getting into. I'd better come with you. Just give me a minute to get ready.
Okay, but if you hear a loud explosion anytime soon, the trip's off.
I remember some trickle-down drama from upstairs in the test pit towards the end where things didn't seem to be getting done as fast as whomever wanted them to be getting done, you know? And I just remember, like, there was some question as to whether or not we'd have to cut a bunch of scenes or even a whole year from the game, you know, or something, because stuff wasn't coming in.
That was terrifying.
Yeah.
That's what the lumbago diorama needed. Fake ocean water.
Front door.
Is it time to go yet?
No. We're having a little car trouble.
Come by when it's time.
Okay. Can't take this anymore?
It's locked.
Oh, but I need to, don't I? How do I get up there then?
Actually, I think it was funny when you came in and you were all excited about working on this game. Like, I really like adventure games. I want to do this kind of thing. I want drama in games. And I think about Telltale, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's pretty much in keeping. It was a long time ago. But I remember when you came in, it was like your game that you had worked on was like a helicopter game, where you
Helicopters.
Helicopters.
What?
and it was like as far different from this as you could possibly imagine a game would be. And I would not have imagined that a person who worked on helicopters was actually interested in adventure games.
There weren't any games like this. All I wanted to do was play with little people and computers, and I had gotten to the point where I almost ended up working on a baseball game because that was the closest thing I could find to little people and computers. And that's when I saw this. I was just like, it doesn't matter. I have to work on this.
Stockmaster Velasco, or not anymore. I don't know what else to do other than just do this part.
What's that? It's, lumbago lemonade. Try it.
Perkly little aperitif, actually. Yes, sirree. Not bad tall. Tell me where you got that right now!
Olivia's kitchen.
Lumbago lemonade!
Manny, aren't we in a hurry?
Don't worry. This won't take long.
Oh, my stomach don't stretch like it used to.
Oh, Glottis.
So what is that stuff they pack canned hams in anyway? Good show, my friend.
You wouldn't happen to have a breath mint on you, I suppose?
What am I supposed to do next? Let me think. Oh yeah, over here. I don't know why I thought I had to go to morgue, but I could just do this. Oh, and I think some of my favorite dialogue in the game. It's not really a dialogue, I guess.
I have to say, coming out of school, I felt super super lucky to, first of all, be hired by Lucasarts by some colleagues of mine who went to the same school, and to walk into this building and see all the concept art for this game on the walls. I was like a kid in a candy store. It was instant, euphoric inspiration, and I just felt like the luckiest guy in the world coming out of school, getting to work on a project of this caliber. It was beautiful.
My favorite line? He hasn't said it yet.
Stop moving. Oh, Toto's plum tuckered out. Shut your hole. I don't want to wake up Toto. No, I don't want to disturb his grumpy little dreams. Not my fault.
Oh. Washer's done.
Stop moving.
Come on, you gotta say it.
Quit whining.
Some loud snoring.
Your mother will love it. I don't want to wake up Toto. Not my fault. Never get me under that thing. Doesn't hurt.
Oh, come on.
Color cost more. Color cost more.
I think it's just totally random. Okay, I'm gonna just go. Well, the line I like usually is he goes, "You asked for bunny." Okay, I should be good to go though. Okay, give me this.
Hey, good idea. I bet I could keep it down now that it's cold.
Just let me get across first, okay?
Squish, 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 squish.
I don't know if people agree with me. That was my idea of, what do they call something that makes you barf? Something you take, drink that makes you... No, not expectorant.
No,
Ipecac.
Epicac.
Epicac. That's the
like
syrup.
a verbal epicac.
Yeah.
Manny talks about the stuff they pack canned hams in, because it's always grossed me out, that weird gelatin. Everyone would have a different thing that they'd bring up that would make them barf.
Right.
What's yours?
Yeah. Ipecac.
Oh, look at that.
It sounds like what you do when you eat it.
Epicac.
Yeah.
I don't know how players are supposed to figure out this puzzle, that you have to fill the floor with regurgitated gelatin. It's not the first thing that jumps into people's minds. Where the hell did you get that?
I forgot
liquid
there was
nitrogen?
I thought there was I forgot there was a regurgitated gelatin puzzle in the game. That's a standard thing, right?
I learned about Ipecac from actually Curse of Monkey Island, of all things.
I'd better disarm her first. Well, here goes nothing. Looks like Hector's taken over the whole town.
He hasn't had much resistance. There's only one small group who oppose him, and they live out on the fringes of the city.
Places like this, you mean?
I hope they're not hurting Glottis.
Ha. Shows what you know about this group. Their leader is a great man who...
Manuel Calavera, we meet again. I see you have found what you were looking for. How fortunate for you to arrive now, just as we too are about to achieve success. Our army has grown, and right now our top agents are in Hector's weapons lab, about to close in on the enemy in his own den. I couldn't have done it without you, Manuel.
It was a trap!
Stand back. There's only one thing to do.
Thank you, sir! You have saved me! But more than that, you have enabled me to continue to serve the movement!
What did you say about a trap?
Hector uncovered our agent in his weapons lab.
No.
You idiot, Bowsley! Your new lab assistant is a spy! Haven't you ever heard of a background check?
What? No time to explain. Now I'll have to take matters into my own hands.
Take me with you. I've longed to be of service to your cause for years.
Yeah, I don't know about them either, Gladys.
Remember one day Tony came into the studio and he had a silk shirt on, and on top of the silk shirt he had a sort of a little sweater, sleeveless sweater. And we were recording and it was like, God, what are we hearing? What are we hearing? And the engineer's like, oh, I think it's a sweater. And we're like, hey, Tony, can you take your sweater off? Takes the sweater off. Back to rolling again. Sound's still there. So he took his sweater off and went back to rolling, and turned out it was a shirt that was making the noise. And we were like, Tony, it's the shirt, it's a silk shirt. And so he's like, it's okay, I got a t-shirt on underneath. So he was down,
just stripping down.
Was stripping down into his t-shirt, and did the rest of the session in his t-shirt. But that was the thing with Tony, is he just loved, he loved working. And for part of the production, he was shooting at night on a movie, and there were a couple of days where he came in and he only had like a couple hours of, a few hours of sleep. And I remember saying, like, we can reschedule the session, and he's like, no, let's do it. And he always was
Nailed
there
it.
to give it his all.
Sounds like a cool guy, actually.
I imagine these pigeons being all over the game, everywhere. And they just showed up in a couple places, and it made me sad.
I think I wrote up a crappy bug about that. And I said, we want more pigeons.
Thank you, man. Thank
Closed.
I think we ran into the polygon limit, and we could only have so many. The pigeons
We're
because
alpha flats. There were many alpha
yeah, but
flats.
there were a lot of them, and they were actually some of the highest poly things in the games.
It's my fault.
Because I think every bone got built on the pigeons.
They were actually really fun to animate.
Yeah, the pigeons were a real fiasco.
It's kind of
Sorry,
hard.
Alex.
It was my first experience.
I appreciate this. Finally brings some closure to the pigeon situation.
I think
I'm answering your bug right now.
Right now. I'm gonna
Let's
go
close
back
this
and
bug
check this
out.
off.
That was also my first experience animating something and not knowing how it was going to be used. So that was kind of like a different mental shift for me. And it was just the first time I had to make a bunch of idles and loops, or takeoffs and lands that all had to work together. It was pretty interesting. I remember swearing.
That Hector just shot. Well, here goes nothing. Go, baby, por la revolución!
one of Hector's messengers. With a message for me? I know what you're up to. I've been watching. I'm coming to sprout you myself. Yours truly, Hector Le Mans. I knew it! I knew he was out to get me the whole time!
Spratella!
You'll never find my secret hideout, Hector. You're going to have to find yourself another Flores!
Yeah, I remember having to get extensions. That was like my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, I would have to go in because I'd be the same thing. Because I always advocate for the artist, and I did. I mean, that's why I loved working with Tim. He's so creative. And so we would talk and collaborate, and then when I'm like, no, look, this is the date, because I'm trying to say the date, and then he did the, the ship story. And so then we had to go get more time. And I was like, well, how are we going to do that? And then he was like, here's my technique. I go into Jack's office, and I stay in there, and I threaten to light myself on fire, and I just scream, and I stay in there until he extends the date. And I'm like, that's a great strategy.
Yeah, it worked.
I know. It worked. Threaten to light myself on fire.
Well,
That's
see, we would never try that in the sound department because Jack would just say, go ahead.
Yeah.
Any messages for me?
Nope. Calls stopped coming for you the day you left. They're still sending you that lingerie catalog, though.
We haven't done it in too many games, but having a year transition between things and changing the location and letting you pick up friends and travel, like, just allows you to have so much character development where Manny and Glottis have now been through a lot of stuff together, and they're in different clothes, which is, they're in different jobs, and they've moved from town to town together, and just starts to build this real friendship between them, which is nice. And I think I realized I'm going to put 4-year transitions in all games from now on, just so we can have that kind of relationship building.
Okay, here's the plan. I need a disguise so I can get close to Hector, and a gun so we'll have something to talk about when I get there.
If you figure out that part, I'll go find out where he is.
His casino tower is directly above these headquarters.
All right, meet me there.
Volunteers quickly for dangerous work. She could be very useful to the cause.
As far as I'm concerned, she is the cause.
Yeah. I think that's all I need in this room.
Oh my god.
Look at that.
I forgot about this set.
That looks like a painting or something. That's great.
Yeah, this is one of the... yeah, when you get a Peter Chan drawing, this one was a Widowmaker as well, where you just thought, how does that pipe go into that?
Things didn't quite line up.
You know, I was going to say that environment with the pipes in it, it almost had like a Day of the Tentacle or Sam and Max feel to it. There's a lot of distortion in the pipes, and felt a little more wacky than what we see in the rest of the environments.
No, definitely.
Give me that.
I didn't put in too many late nights, but there was one where I was in the office at 2 in the morning just making notes on the script, and all of a sudden Chuck Jordan walks by my office and says, "Hi," and there was a way about him that 10 minutes later I got up from my desk and went over to his office and went in and said, "Did you just get in?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I got in at 2. 2 in the morning." He's like, "Yeah." And I guess that he had put in so many late nights that his whole time clock had shifted, and so he said to Tim, he's like, "Hey, is it okay if I just come in at 2 in the morning?" And Tim was like, "Sure."
No use for it. No use for it. Not big. You know, if I had had a car like this when I was alive, things would have been different.
Yeah, you have a best buddy that is giant and orange.
I remember the big wall of concept art that was like and 15 feet tall, and you'll see on the internet, probably see some of it on the special edition of these pencil drawings that are, and you only get to see them one at a time. but there were hundreds of them, and they were all pinned up to this giant corkboard.
Yeah, it's like wallpaper.
Like wallpaper. Yeah, and it was amazing to see this beautiful art transform from these pencil drawings on the wall into the game in front of you, and
it kept the style in a lot of cases. I mean, some of the things were the 3D
faithfulness.
scenes were amazing.
Yeah, the faithfulness to those original Peter Chan drawings is incredible.
Okay, I'm gonna have to take a quick pause here, throw some laundry into the dryer and pull some laundry out of the dryer. So yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes, so just take a quick break and I'll see you on the other side.